everybody. I'm Bob Tallman. To salute a cowboy, there's many different ways to do it. You can give him applaud when he does well. You can help him up when he's down. But I'd like you to remember one thing. They're probably the most individual breed of man alive today in North America because they come from the grassroots industry of farming and ranching. We've only brought their kind of a sport into this arena, and we match them against tens of thousands of dollars against thousands of a second. We look back into bull riding, probably the event that draws more interest to the spectator's viewpoint than any other event. Wilf Gerlitz is a name who back in 1948 and 50 and 52 was a champion. He 4 times was the Canadian Finals Rodeo champion. Larry Mahan, a name that started in Brooks, Oregon in the early 1960s, and he won the all-around title. He was a bull rider. He was a bronc rider, a bareback rider. Today he's a television star and a man who's made his own way. But all of those kind of men today are the heroes to these young men who we're watching in competition. Bull riding, yak riding, all of the different things that are happening with our salute to the cowboy. And a young lady who knows a lot about that is our co-host, Miss Nancy Southern. Right now, let's go to Nancy.
Bob, the yaks are an exciting new concept in rodeo. It's a sudden death challenge between Greg Schlosser, the Canadian champion of 1981, the bull riding champion, and Bobby Del Vecchio from New York, a real showman himself. Bobby is also going up against a bet, a $1,000 bet after this $3,000 ride-off to see if he can actually ride a yak that has never, ever been ridden before. You know, we refer to the bulls as the killer sport or the macho man sport. However, this yak riding, I think, is going to be a crazy man sport, so hold on to your hats. Let's see the yaks.
Thank you, Nancy. Yak riding, that's something that you want to be watching for. And bull riding, of course, we know what's going to happen. A lifetime in 8 seconds, regardless whether it's a bull or a yak. We'll be back to see that action right after these words from our commercial sponsor. If I had to find a way to ride something that I'd never seen before, I don't know how I would devise it. Greg Schlosser, the 1981 Canadian reigning bull riding champion, and Bobby Del Vecchio, the raging bull, the Italian stallion from New York, have gathered their wits, their talents, their strengths, and their ideas of how to ride a yak, Y-A-K. Now, if you don't know what a yak is, they come out of the Yukon Territory, and they say that they're a cross between a buffalo and maybe a black Angus bull. They're big, they're furry, they have a sloping body, they're hard to ride, big horns, and they won't necessarily hurt you. Well, what we're going to do today is try to show you, and then let them, well, demonstrate their talents at yak riding. They ride one about every 100 times they try. Today, Schlosser, great Canadian from Nanton, Alberta, Bobby Del Vecchio from New York City. Good luck, boys. Let's watch this action right now. New York City is not the place where you'd expect a cowboy like this guy, the Italian stallion Bobby Del Vecchio, to come from. One of 6 kids in a family raised on the 47th Street side of the Bronx. Here he's displaying something that no other man in the world would even attempt to do. 500 men have tried, 499 not succeeded. 8 seconds flashes, that means that he's completed. I love you. That's what this man does. When he wins, he's a winner with everybody. Bobby Del Vecchio, the raging bull if you want him. He is the Italian stallion that's just become a new private pilot. He is the next Larry Mahan, little bull they call him. He's one of 2 men here today in this Coliseum in front of thousands who is trying to complete something for 8 seconds for $3,000. Not much more. Greg Schlosser, Nanton, Alberta, the best in Canada. Whew. Ouch. Not long, 2.5 seconds, a little stagger, a lot of pain. Why would a man want to do this? Mike Moore goes over to check him out. Right now, in his mind, he's wondering why, as the vertebrae in the back of his neck hurts. Del Vecchio with a little kiss. Well, it's all over. He's won the match, but another one to come in a minute. We'll see that right now. Nancy Southern and the world champion rider.
The champion.
All right.
All right.
I can't, boy.
Boy, that was super.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that you went the whole 8 seconds.
Well, yeah, you know, that bull there, he's been out 500 times. I think he's been ridden once, you know. And then that one I got on, that second one, that wasn't supposed to be. But, you know, a guy says you can't ride him. I said I can, so I give it a try. But, you know.
You had to go for that bet, huh?
Oh, yeah, you know, the money wasn't the biggest part of it. It's, you know, I love laughing. I love them people. And, you know, I love to live it the way I do, you know. Dangerously, yes, but, you know, just have fun while I'm doing it.
Bobby, you were super, really. And I have to say, I was hoping that Greg was going to win, only because I'm a Canadian at heart.
Well,
but a showman like you, nobody can bring that. I mean, you were outstanding.
Well,
really
thank you.
super.
You know, these people up front in Canada, they're outstanding, too. I'd like to just to say thank you to all of Canada, because they're so warm. They made us feel good. We've been up there for 2 or 3 days. And Greg, you know, he's the best. You know what I mean? So I hope they continue to have it, and I hope it becomes a worldwide thing. I mean, I am, after all, the world champion yak rider.
He is the world champion, but in a moment, a $1,000 gamble with Bobby Del Vecchio and Boots. Boots is the unrideable yak. The yak. This man, I've traveled with him, ate with him, watched him every move. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. And here, goodbye. Goodbye, Bobby. No money, no ride, no kisses. Canada, you've got your shot back. The great American, the great New York Cowboy is on the ground. Boots is the winner. Del Vecchio in a shirt that sparkles like his heart with an attitude that's the same. Cowboy, I salute you. Some of the greatest people in the world. In a minute, bull ride. I always thought that cowboys and Indians were two things that fought against each other. The Indian today in North America is making a comeback in athletic sports. And it seems that rodeo is one of the main places. This is Bert Williams. He's an Indian from Mount Curry, British Columbia. Logging Creek is the name of the bull. He's not worried about battling any cowboys, no throwing Tommyhawks. And today, the color of his skin means nothing. He's another man, one of the top 12 finalists right here. He's trying to ride this bull, something that many men would dream about. Some can identify with and some don't care. 77 points is how they'll bring it together. That means that the rider earned 37, the stock earned 40. But more about cowboys, and as we salute them, I had a chance to talk to this young man earlier, Ted Noose from California. Being the rookie of the year and being a hot shot, you came from high school into the ranks of the pros. Where does all this ability come from at such a young age? How does that background come to you?
Well, I started out quite a while ago riding horses, breaking colts for a guy named J.D. Garr in California, down there where I live, and I just kind of came up riding horses, and one day I seen this picture of this guy riding a bull and decided I wanted to try it, and that's how I got started.
Today's the day to finish up some of the acts. Standing back here behind us is 1,800 pounds of speckled beast, old General Lee. That's the match today. What are you thinking about right now?
Well, I think that bull's probably going to be pretty hard to ride. If I keep charging the front end, keep hustling, I think I can ride him all right.
What do you mean charging the front end? What part of your body does that?
Just keep reaching with my free hand out over him. Just keep trying, hustling my feet, keeping my whole body going for the entire ride.
Do you figure you can ride this bull, win this short round, and become the champion today?
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you more about that after it's over.
Back in the 1970s, late 1970s, I used to watch this kid in California when he was riding in high school competition a couple of years ago. One night in Denver, Colorado, he and I were having dinner in a fancy joint. I asked him, "You think you'll make it, kid?" That was before he won the rookie. He said, "Yeah. As long as they keep cracking gates, slinging horns at me." He said, "I'll make it. I sure would like to be a world champion." It's a quote I'll never forget. You're watching the makings of a world champion right here. Now, Ted Noose has completed the ride. Out. Get up, get up, get up, get out of there. Old General Lee's trying to throw a little horn his way, and he did it. This afternoon, well, 154 is going to total up for the two. He's 75 and a 79, and again, those are just points. That young man is a great young athlete, and a friend of mine, too. Let's watch it again. Why would you do this? Why would he want him to keep cracking those gates? Why would he want that bull to keep trying to kill him? Why would man ever want to enter a contest that only lasts 8 seconds, of which in any one of those hundredth of a second he could die, become crippled? The Cowboys, that's why we're saluting them. Revelation, something that some people know a lot about, something that most people know nothing about. Tom Davies is on Revelation. That's the bull. Here's a Canadian and a good one from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Up, look out, in trouble, in trouble. Again, why? Right there, within inches, fractions of an inch away from the temple of his head came the horn of a bull. Bucked him off. He's done. He's all gone. We're going to find out why and strategy here in a minute from Jerry Beagley and Nancy Southern. Nancy?
Jerry, you're splitting 8th, 9th, and 10th slot going into the finals. How good does the bull have to be to pull you up and to win this whole Super Rodeo?
Well, to win the whole rodeo, I'm not sure. It'll be according to how everybody else does today, because, of course, short go-round, they pack with extremely good bulls. All of us have got Beckers. But like in the past, to get to a short go-round, it's make the whistle, and then see how it goes after that.
You've got a pretty good bull that you've drawn today, and how are you going to ride this bull? Are you going to play a safe ride, or are you going to go all out?
I'm just going to try to get to the whistle. He's what we call an eliminator type bull. Bunny, he's quite famous bull up in this country. I seen him before he came here. I seen him at the finals, National Finals Rodeo in Oklahoma City in 1978. He come from Howard Harris Cowtown Rodeo Company on the East Coast, New Jersey. And here they bought him and brought him up here. And he's been quite famous since he's been up here. I've seen him more when he was in the States. I've seen him 2 or 3 times. I do rodeo in this country quite a bit. And he's a good bull, but he's kind you just have to keep scrambling and no set pattern, just make the whistle and try to.
As a professional cowboy, do you find that the rodeo sport is growing throughout North America? And do you feel a kind of a responsibility as a cowboy to make the sport grow?
Yes, I think it's up to us to make it grow and everything, conduct ourselves as athletes is what we are as professional athletes. But with the new cowboy craze and stuff that come in the States, move this way, it is extremely popular. And with what Canada, the United States, in a more or less a down economy right now, I've seen that actually it hasn't hurt rodeo, because when entertainment comes to town, when the rodeo comes to town, they come and see it. They don't travel long ways, but when something's in town, they come to see it. So we've profited from it, even though it's costing us more to go up and down the road.
Did you see the stitches in that young man's chin? He's got over 200 of them above the shoulders. It happened a couple of years ago at Denver. Did you hear what he had to say about that bull? He knows where this bull came from, who owned him, who traded him, how he bucked. And he said, I've got to hustle, I've got to scramble. Yes, he didn't hustle. Bucked him off. Jerry Beagley was runner-up 2 years ago, the Donny Gate of the world title. Right now, a very, very disgusted young man. That's it, man. I mean, that is it. It's over. Let's take a look at Charles Manson. Not the man, the bull. And a young fellow from Paddle Prairie, Alberta, Gary Houle. This young man doesn't say it. He'll show you. He believes that action speaks louder than words. A very modest young Canadian, one of the top 10 in Canada. Right now, he too is feeling a little despondent. In a minute, we're going to bring you back some more champions. Sheep Brower, Brian Abley, Benji Buffalo with more bull riding. 70 Mile House, Alberta. This is Bob Tallman, and we're back to the Salute of the Cowboy. I wonder where that is, 70 miles from somebody's house. That's where this young man lives. Jake Sheepbrower. Mr. Chips is the bull. He was 77 points on his first one. That's all whoopee. That's history. That's behind us. Right now, he's concerned for the next 8 seconds. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the form. Try, endurance, ability, all of those kind of things that it takes to make a great champion. Once a champion, always a champion? Not necessarily. It's all over. Hey, man, I mean, it just started, and it's all over. Pulls his glove off, walks away, looks like Johnny Cash, dressed in black. Why do they dress that way? Well, every man has his own reason for the color of the chaps, the length, the fringe, the way he dresses, the kind of shirt that he wears, the brim of his hat. It's all shaped for a reason. His own reason. Cowboys, the most individual people in the world. Earlier today, I had a chance to talk to Brian Abley. This is probably one of the most individualistic men in the sport of rodeo. His Western heritage, his reasons, let's hear it right now. It doesn't really make any difference whether you live in the United States or Canada when you're Brian Abley from Jenner, Alberta, and ride the way you do. Now, I've seen you ride, and certain days you'd fall off a milk cow. I've seen you ride the rankest bulls on any given day. How do you know inside when you're ready to ride that rank bull, Brian?
I don't know. Usually I feel good all the time, but sometimes the guy just messes up. Financially, sometimes that has something to do with it.
You get to thinking about you got to win this money, or you need to win the money for the points?
Yeah, usually that has an effect on you, but I think the more years that I rodeo, I'm kind of getting more experience, so I think I can handle the pressure a little better now.
You're more relaxed. The more bulls that you get on, the more times you nod your head and get out of that gate. Do you relax inside, or where does the relaxation part come? Where does that confidence build that you have?
Well, usually before I get on, I'm pretty nervous, but once I get down in the box and I just start pulling my rope and warming up, then I get pretty relaxed then and I feel good. I don't worry about it anymore then.
How old are you?
27.
That's young yet for a professional rodeo cowboy. How much longer? How long will the body last?
Well, as good as I feel now, could be 15 years. You never know.
That means that the older you get, the better you're getting. Physical fitness, and you're mentally prepared so that you can work smarter, ride smarter, not harder.
Oh, yeah. More experience you get, the better it is.
You know, I've known him for 10 years, and I've just found out more about him right there in that interview than in anything in the last 10 years. He's a very quiet man. He doesn't say nothing. Watch him ride. Jordy Thompson kicks the gate open. Said, hey, buddy, stay in the middle. Keep control. He's talking about it. Scared before, but he's riding ready now. Brian Ablett, a very special person. Ouch! Oh, that's the unorthodox method of getting off. Look at there. See, he doesn't have much to say. Look at there. He knows. The hair on the back of my neck and yours is standing up, and the hair on the back of his neck hurts right now. Like I said, I don't know much about him, except I've watched him ride 500 times. I've watched him win $200,000 or $300,000. 72 points today, another ride. Another dollar, another 8-second conquering victory for man against beast. They're all different. Some come short, some come tall, some get off like that the hard way, some get off with a lot of glamour and grace. And then some dance for a living. That was Leon Coffey. Benji Buffalo. Of course, that's an Indian name, and this is an Indian cowboy. He comes from Hobima, a place very well known for a lot of cowboys, and one of the great winter rodeos right now. Hotshot. That's the bull. That's what they call him, Hotshot. He is a young Hotshot, a great young Indian athlete. But he's bucked off here today, and no more chances. Jim Freeman's a cowboy who's been doing this for a long time, and I think Nancy will tell you that
Jim,
story.
you've just come off a pretty major injury. How does that affect your mental thinking as you go into the bull riding?
Oh, you get uptight a little bit until the bulls come in, and then, I've been around them for 12 years, so you get used to it after a bit.
Do you find, though, that your concentration level has dropped since an injury, or are you worried about certain things?
No, your reflexes have dropped quite a bit, though.
Jim, the bull riding is known as the killer event, the macho man sport, and you have a wife and a little girl at home. How do they feel about you continuing on in this dangerous sport?
It depends on the bull more than anything. Some bulls are good to ride, and if you get a bad one, it bothers a little bit, but that's part of our game of rodeo.
What about the fact that Jim is at such an age and he's not going to be able to continue to ride anymore, and what do you plan to do in the future? Will you always be involved in rodeo?
I think so. I've got 2 Western stores, and I've been with rodeo now 12, 15, 14 years, and it's all part of a lifestyle that I don't think I'll ever lose it.
Well, we wish you lots of luck, and you're sitting 5th, 6th, and 7th going into the finals. Is that going to put some added pressure on you?
The bull I got today, he's big and he's hard to ride, so I've got to monkey up and do what I can to get some points out of him. He's hard to ride, and I've got to make things right.
Do you find it as a disadvantage being a Canadian cowboy competing against all these American guys who have lots of rodeos and lots of prize money and lots of good stock?
No, I don't think so. I think Canadian and American, we've got such a, between the 2 associations, we're pretty close, and we work together. We always have, and I think we always will.
2 Western stores. That means that rodeo's done something for Jim Freeman. 1 child is all that he has. Pretty little girl and a beautiful wife. They're here today saying, come on, Dad. He's a hero in their eyes. I don't care whether he rides this bull or not, but I'd say he's going to get it done. Jimmy Freeman many times a judge. That means that he's thought about by the other cowboys, not only as a great champion, but a man of honesty. You notice that he walks away slowly, calm, cool, and collected. That's just his lifestyle. Western wear stores. It's interesting. He has another way of making a living and a future in the Western industry. Western heritage, a part of his life. Well, he got the old bull road. Didn't look too bad. He's 35 points, 34 for the bull. He's 100 now and 47 on 2. That may win him 4th today. May win 2 or 3,000. He may win 15,000 a year in Canada, another 10 in the States. Say 25,000 a year, not too bad. Mike Bandy. No, not Mo Bandy. Mike Bandy. Younger brother to Mo Bandy, though. Country music. Cowboys, it all goes together. But there's more of the story right here. This bull's only been ridden 3 times. He's the terrible Hagar of weighing bulls. Bandy comes from Texas. This may be the 4th time in the world that this bull ever gets rode. Here it is. First to the right, now back to the left. Bandy's going to do it. Ride. He's got it done. A man who's been in the top 5-7 years in a row in the United States tips his hat to all of the Canadian fans and says, I am the 4th man. But look at him. Look at him. Take a good look in his face. He's tired. He's hot. He's thinking about it. I've just done it. Modesty is what this man is all about. He has just become the 4th man in the world to ever do something on this particular bull. He's ridden it for 82 points to go to the lead here today. That may be all whoopee in a minute. What Mike Bandy is about is living. A little man with a big heart. Mike Bandy, congratulations. We salute you. How does it feel to just do that? He steps off the horse from taking his introduction. Here, he says. We'll give it back to our beautiful queens. I want to hear this story. Nancy can get him gathered up down there in a minute and find out what it's like. Mike Bandy, why didn't he become a guitar picker? He won first today, 160 points. That's worth maybe, another $3,000 added to his $75,000 a year. Let's go to Nancy Southern right now.
Mike, you just were out on an exciting bull. He's only been ridden 4 times in the last 5 years. Tell us a little bit about this animal.
Well, he's a real good bull, Wayne Bowes. He's got a real good record. I think he was bucking bull of the year up there last year. He's a real impressive feeling bull, and I was really glad to ride him.
You've just come off major surgery on your elbow. How does that affect a bull rider when he goes out into the ring?
Well, it wasn't really major. They just rerouted the nerve in my arm, and I just stayed out all year and let it rest. And when I come back, it felt real good. It didn't bother me at all. I just tried to block it out of my mind, and no problem with it.
And you found that your timing was there, your concentration, everything came back just like that?
Oh, no, not all at once. I kind of had to learn how to ride again. I thought it was like riding a bicycle once you got it down, but it took me a little while to get back to riding, but it's all right now.
What a way to make a living in an 8-second lifestyle. Riding bulls, no thank you. I like talking about it. Nancy Southern and I'll have more of it for you in another show. Bobby Del Vecchio, you come back a year from now, and you can defend your title in the yak riding. We're talking of something more exciting even yet, and I think especially to Canadians. Tom Glass. Tom Glass is the Larry Mahan of the chuck wagon drivers, and you'll have a chance, along with Russ Peake on our next show, to feel what it's like to ride in a wagon at 40 miles an hour behind 6 runaway horses. Round and around they go, and where they stop, only the finish line knows. And I think you'll enjoy that in the comfort of your own home front room. For Nancy Southern and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of A Salute to the Cowboys. And to all of you, happy trails, Cowboys.